And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Saturday's edition of New Distributor Training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zege International, and it is my privilege to be able to be your trainer this morning. And very excited about this morning's training. Some of you may have received the email notification, announcing the training. It was something like, okay, so what's this system thing all about, and why does it work so good with network marketing? And I've got all kinds of notes for you, and I'm going to be rolling through that here very quickly. Let me just kind of check in with y'all. Folks, we have a chat box that's part of the webinar. You're certainly welcome to put your questions and comments in there. We've got already a bunch of them here. Let's see. Get this bigger here. Good morning, Lorene. Good morning to you. 1.5 feet of snow in Alberta, Canada. I don't even know what to say to that. Let's see. Good morning, Joe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Lorene is looking forward to the coaching. Let's see here. Hi, Mary. Let's see. Hello, Hans from Houston. Hans is my BMW buddy. And Beverly, welcome from Niagara Falls. And aloha, Gina. Looking forward to seeing you in Cincinnati. And so forgive the distractions, folks. Welcome to Saturday morning new distributor training, and in particular, certainly welcome to all of you, but welcome to those of you that perhaps this is your very first Saturday morning training. I'm very excited to have you joining us as your entry into your Zege business. We're going to do several things this morning, but I want to start out with kind of setting up your expectations. Okay, for those of you that came here this morning to learn exactly what to do to build your Zege business, and for some of you to build your Zege empire. Don't expect in the next 45 50 minutes we're going to teach you every single thing, for instance, that I've learned in over 30 years in this profession. I mean, that would be silly to say that. We have a lot of things that we have available to you. I'm going to direct you to several resources here right now and throughout the rest of this morning presentation. Saturday morning new distributor training is designed to be an ongoing process every Saturday morning, where myself, other members of the team, really sharp, successful distributors in Zege, will be bringing to the table little snippets, components of how to build a Zege business. Now, for those of you that are brand new, just getting started with us, I'm going to encourage you to do a number of things, but one of them in particular is I'm going to encourage you to take some time and go to some recorded videos that I've done over the last, probably it's getting close to 1.5 years, 2 years in some cases now, that are the foundational elements of success in network marketing. I'm going to put a link in the chat box for you. What you need to recognize is that this is a process, okay? It's a journey to success. But like any other journey, you need to be well prepared. I've produced a few, it's kind of a fun, I have shot a few videos. The production quality is not, spectacular. Unfortunately, they're free, right? I'm not going to charge you for the videos. But what they are the the culmination of over 30 years of experience in the industry, and the things that I was taught many years ago. Back in the mid 80s, I was a cross-country truck driver. And, I've done lots of things over my life before this profession in network marketing. I talk about truck driving. That's what I was doing before I got involved in network marketing. I've been doing that for a number of years. For me, it was probably the most successful occupation that I was involved in. At that point in my life, as a much younger man, I was looking for things that truck driving couldn't offer me. I was looking for a significantly above average income. I had my son was hitting school age. He had specialized educational needs that I was going to have to provide for. The school district was not going to help my son. And so I needed a lot of money, much more money than a truck driver can make. And I also needed a second thing that truck driving didn't provide for, which was time freedom, be able to have a flexible schedule so I could be with him during those formative years. And this profession in network marketing has fulfilled on all of those promises. I mean, literally in the space of 10 years in this profession, I was able to retire. By the time I hit my mid-40s, I was already done with what most people, take, their life to do. And it changed everything. And one of the significant, probably the biggest advantage I had over the average person is I had an opportunity in my very first company, my very first sponsor, to work directly with a $1 million earner. I got to learn how to do network marketing like the professionals do. And so these little videos that I've done are there for you to learn the things that I was exposed to 4 years ago, something like that. It's worth the price of admission just to watch me do math in my head. So I'm not going to do that for you here. Let me see if I can get this link in there. How do I do that? That's really weird. I can't say, oh, I got to do it over here. All right, I'm going to put into the chat box a link to my YouTube channel, and you will find 4 videos there. The first one's 30 minutes long. It's called New Distributor Training. That's a must-watch. Okay, that's the elements that have helped me build a business. It's what you want to know. It's it's what do we do in network marketing and how do we do it. You'll find 3 additional little videos there. They're about 10 minutes a piece. It's how to develop your prospect list, how to develop your prospect list, how to develop your Zija story, and a 90-day game plan. Those 3 little videos combined would be what we would call the Fast Start training. And so let me put that in the chat box right now while I'm doing this. www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. That particular link that I just left you there, that's where all of the training videos, our Saturday morning trainings, Thursday evenings, myself and several of the team members, we do a business presentation called Biz Talks with Fred. Unless it's Candace that's doing it, then it's Biz Talks with Candace, and so on. You'll find all of those videos archived there, and then www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija /playlists. That's where you'll find those 4 little videos. Now I really need to point something out here. Many of you that are attending this particular Saturday morning training and some of the other things that we do as an organization aren't necessarily members of my personal organization. Many of your upline leaders, your diamonds and emeralds and platinums and black diamonds and all the things that the titles we have, direct you here. And it's humbling and it's flattering that they do so, but I want to be very clear about this. Everything that we do is oriented towards Zija as a community. Many of you have incredibly strong, successful, and knowledgeable and experienced upline leadership. And I want you to plug into those folks. Most of the diamonds and so on in the organization of Zija have resources for their team members. I direct many of my team members to other leaders' resources and their presentations because there's so much value in hearing from a different voice. And so everything that we do is designed to be, not organization specific, but focused on Zija in general. And you need to be able to have the ability to tie into all of the upline leadership that's available. Now, let me do something real quick here. Okay, very good. Now, I'm going to go through a lot of information here very quickly. I encourage you to grab your journal, your notebook. This is my journal today. When I first started in the industry, I did not have the ability to spend the kind of money you spend on these. You know, these are really nice journals I use now. They're leather bound. They got the little gold foil like your Bible and the little, you know, stringy thing, and they're really nice, and I like them, and I buy a bunch of them at a time, so I've always got, you know, one ready to go. In the beginning, they were like this, you know, spiral bound notebooks. Okay, and actually an awful lot of what I share today has come out of some of the old journals, if you will, that I use. But I encourage you to start today archiving the information, the knowledge, the experience that you're going to be receiving over your journey of success with Zija, because it's imperative for you to give back to others. That is the nature of you know, a successful life. It's the nature of what creates success within our profession in network marketing. And so grab your journal. I'm going to go through several things very briskly, because what I want to do is I want to leave the balance of our time this morning for questions and answers. For those of you that are using your cell phone, all you got to do is tap the screen and it will bring up the little icons where you can enter into the chat box and that sort of thing. You have an option of either sending a message directly to me, or to have that incorporated for the entire group to watch as well, that have their chat box open. All right, so let me stay focused here. So let's start out with that whole, you know, tagline, or that title, if you will. So what's this system thing, and why does it work so well in network marketing? Well, the first step is to understand what network marketing is. And an awful lot of why I'm sharing this today comes from interactions that I've had with new distributors and some established distributors this past week. That actually ends up being an awful lot of the genesis of Saturday morning trainings when I do this. Is it really has to do with the experiences and the conversations that have happened during the week. And it just brings to mind things that, you know, need to be imparted. And so one of the things that happened this past week is I spoke with a number of people that were getting really hung up with this concept of needing to know all of the product information to be able to sell the product. And that phrase, just that little sentence there, is a clear indication that somebody does not really understand what it is we do. Okay, so let's talk about what network marketing is and what it is not. Okay, network marketing is simply business. Okay, business, and I'm going to give you your 20-second MBA. Okay, you want an MBA? Here's the MBA information. Business is nothing more than moving products or services into the marketplace. That's business. That's enterprise. Moving products or services into the marketplace. That's all it is. Now, there are a handful of distribution models, business models that move products and services into the marketplace. And so let's talk about those real quick. The first one, and it's the one that's the most common and the one that everybody is the most familiar with, is retail sales. Retail sales typically involve, you know, a huge percentage of the cost of a product goes into advertising, marketing, to create, you know, brand name awareness, to drive the consumer from their home to the store, you know, the fixed site retail location, to buy the product. Okay, that's one business distribution model, to move products or services. Products, you know, clothing, hardware, cars, whatever. Services, accounting services, get your taxes done here, you know, whatever. To get people to go from where they are to the person that sells the products or services. Retail sales, and that's how we get most of our products and services in the marketplace today. The second distribution model is called direct sales. Now, direct sales is the opposite of retail sales. Direct sales involves the seller, the salesperson, going to the consumer. Retail sales, the first business model, consumer goes to the seller. Direct sales is the opposite. Now, some of you are probably too young to remember direct sales like, the Fuller Brushman, encyclopedia sales. For those of you that aren't ancient like me, encyclopedias, it's Google in book form. That's how we used to get our information, is we'd go to an encyclopedia, and there was big money in selling encyclopedias. The Fuller Brushman, for household items. Some of you are familiar with the Avon lady, okay? The high-end vacuums, what are they? Filter Queen, I'm trying to remember the one I got. I bought 3 of them now. Kirby, is that it? Anyway, some of you familiar with that. Direct sales can be extremely profitable because all of the money that's generally invested in advertising and promotion and so on to drive the consumer to the retail location is reserved for the salesperson. Okay, the salesperson that does the direct sales can make a lot of money doing direct sales. So 2 traditional business models. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people take the 3rd distribution model, network marketing, and they try to fit it into what they're familiar with. They're familiar with retail sales. So they're trying to figure out ways that they, maybe you own a store, a clothing store, maybe you got a Stop and Rob, a convenience market. Stop and Rob, sorry. I'm from California, if you haven't figured that one out. And they try to, or direct sales, they remember, the guy selling them the vacuum, selling them life insurance, selling them whatever. They try to fit our distribution model into something they're familiar with. And so, multi-level marketing or network marketing is a 3rd and separate distribution model. Okay, first of all, it's not retail sales. There are no Zija stores. Okay, that is, if that was the best way to sell our product, we'd already be doing that. Okay, this isn't direct sales. Now, let me say, we do sell our product, and we sell it directly to the consumer. That's why we're called direct sales companies. Network marketing companies are lumped in with direct sales companies because ultimately the sale to the consumer comes from an independent distributor. But you're going to serve yourself really well if you stop thinking about what we do is selling our product. The 3rd distribution model is network marketing. Okay, now network marketing, probably the simplest definition, network marketing is a distribution model that involves large numbers of people doing a little. Okay, instead of a few people doing a lot, it's really about a lot of people doing a little. Another way to look at that is network marketing is more about establishing distribution networks of people distributing the product than it is about direct sales. Those are the 3 primary distribution models that work in the world today. Now, a couple of things just for clarification. Internet sales. Internet sales falls into that first category of retail sales. Now, in internet sales, there may not be an actual physical site, okay? For instance, you can't go to an Amazon store. You buy from Amazon online. However, that is very much part of that first distribution model. As a matter of fact, the major retailers that have been able to embrace that form of sales have been able to thrive in the internet age. Others that haven't been able to embrace that or do it successfully are floundering right now. Many of you know Sears and Roebuck company, place I used to buy. Well, Mom used to buy, my jeans and T-shirts and socks and all that kind of stuff. They've had some real challenges because they haven't successfully embraced that component of retail sales. There's a 4th category, catalog sales or mail order sales. That is very much lumped in with direct sales. Now, there's a 5th category. I'm just going to mention it because it needs to be brought up. It's called pyramid sales. okay? And oftentimes, legitimate network marketing companies or multi-level marketing companies are perceived to fall into that category. This is real simple. That fifth category, pyramid sales, folks, those are illegal, all right? Pyramid schemes. And the simplest and easiest way to define whether or not you're looking at a legitimate distribution model, company that uses network marketing as the distribution model versus whether or not it's a pyramid scheme, it's really easy to figure this one out. The product that is being marketed, is it a real product? Because if it's a real product that you would buy independent of being involved in the business, then it's a legitimate operation, okay? And there's some other finer nuances we don't need to discuss right now that you might have a real product, but it really would be a pyramid scheme. But here's the real factor. Okay, what is it that you're selling? I had a fellow talking to me recently about this great new deal. Everybody's going to make $1 million and blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know, I just can't figure out what the product is. And he said, the product is our platform. And I'm thinking, that's not a product. Okay, that's not a real product. It's not something I would buy and consume independent of, you know, talking to my friends about making money. Okay, if it's a real product that you would purchase and consume independent of trying to get your friends to buy the product, independent of trying to get your friends to join to make money, unless there's a real product involved, I guarantee you it falls in that fifth category of pyramid schemes, and they're illegal. Okay, and so enough of that. So what network marketing is a distribution model. It's a business model of distribution of products and services into the marketplace. It is different than retail sales. It is different than direct sales. It is unique. And so it only makes sense that if you want to be successful in retail sales, running a restaurant, running a clothing store, a hardware store, whatever, you'd want to learn about that before you invested $50,000, $100,000, or $1 million in a business. In direct sales, if you want to be successful in direct sales, it makes sense. You would want to learn what that is all about. In network marketing, for some reason, people think they already know. And I guarantee you, it's almost impossible for somebody to truly understand this type of business unless they have actually been able to be involved successfully or with somebody that understands the professional levels of network marketing. So let's talk about the system, because at the top of the broadcast a few moments ago, I said that one of the descriptions of network marketing, it is a distribution model that relies on lots of people doing a little. And if you break that down, one of the things that's going to become very, very obvious is that if you want to be successful in developing distribution networks, it has to be able to be done by the masses. It has to be something that the everybody's of the world can do. And that implies and requires duplication. You have to have a simple system that is duplicatable by the masses. Because if it's not a simple system, it's something that you're going to start limiting the number of people that actually can be involved. And if you do the math, it's real simple, okay? If you have a successful retail business, a successful restaurant, a successful hardware store, that means you have lots of customers that come to your restaurant on a regular basis, lots of customers that continue to come to your hardware store on a regular basis. That's what creates a successful business. Nothing different in network marketing. Our income in Zija is based 100% upon the number of people that purchase product. Okay, there's no other way to make money in Zija. You can't make money in Zija training people. You can't make money in Zija, promoting events. Okay, people have tried. Okay, there's lots of people out there that have tried to make a fortune teaching network marketing. Unfortunately, most of those people that are making money teaching network marketing never really made much money in network marketing. So, they're mining the miners. There's people that make money promoting events in network marketing. But once again, these are people that are not doing network marketing. They're making money promoting events in network marketing. And I want to tell you, there are a few people out there that have been successful in network marketing, and they are now successful in teaching that. But quite frankly, most of them aren't. And it's very difficult unless you actually know what you're listening to be able to distinguish the difference from the people that are telling you they can teach you how to do network marketing versus the ones that really can't. Okay, and so my encouragement at this stage of the game, work with your upline leaders, the ones that are doing the deal in Zija, and by definition are the ones that should be teaching you how to do what we do. So let's talk about these systems. Now, the system, I've actually broken down like maybe 3 different areas that there is a system. And be very clear, every single leader in Zija has systems. By definition, if they're already a platinum, an emerald, a diamond, and above, they have created simple systems of duplication that they are teaching their teams. And you will find that all of the top income earners in our company, while they may use different terms for their systems, the steps in their systems, they will all very much be very similar because there's not that much to do in our type of business to be successful. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. You don't want to get caught up in the little finer nuances because it's not going to serve you well. So let's talk about the first system that most people meant that's what they're talking about when they say the system. And that first system relates to recruiting. Okay, and one of the hallmarks of a system is it's something that you can easily teach. It can be taught to the average person. The average person can learn it. They can turn around and teach it to others. That's what creates duplication. The terms may be a little bit different, but they're always going to be very similar. Everything I do personally, I always break down into step 1, step 2, step 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because it's simple. Most people can master step 1, step 2, step 3. So in the process of recruiting, 3 steps. I use the phrases, invitation is step 1. That's what you as a brand new distributor, that's really your only responsibility. Invite people to look. To look at what? Well, invite people to look at our products or invite people to look at our opportunity. Now I'm going to say something real quick here, and we may, you may have questions about this when we do our question and answer session. I never invite people to look at both. Okay, there's 2 categories of people that we speak to. People that would benefit from our product. Okay, those are customers. And if they fall into that category, that's what I invite them to look. I invite them to look at my products. There's a second category of people, and these are people that we're going to introduce to our income opportunity. Okay, and when they fall into that category, I focus on the opportunity. Now, we certainly cross-pollinate, if you will. There will come a time when I'm talking to customers about getting involved in the opportunity, but I don't mix the 2. Okay, I'm certainly, when I'm talking to somebody about the income opportunity, a potential distributor, I'm certainly going to introduce them to the product. It may be early on in the conversation, it may be later on the conversation, or it might even be after they've joined the business before the product really becomes an issue. I'm one of those people. When I signed up with Zija, I bought what we call today the Builder Premium system. It was $1,300 and change, and I bought that before I ever tasted my first serving of moringa. I bought it because of the potential of the opportunity. Now, I've had, especially in the early days, most of the people that joined me in my business in the first couple of weeks, none of them had tried the product before they bought their Builder Premium system. Now, why is that? It had nothing to do with the product in terms of their personal experience. It had to do with the potential of the opportunity because of this great product. Okay, but utilizing the product wasn't the primary issue. Now, I guarantee you, the day their product showed up, I went into customer mode. I got them on the product. I followed up with them. I helped them get good product results. I wanted them locked into my product. But do you see the differentiation here? They are either potential customers or potential distributors. And if they're potential customers, I invite them to look at my product. If they're potential distributors, I invite them to look at my opportunity. I don't mix the two. Now, first step of the three-step recruiting system. Step one is the invitation. That's what you as a brand new distributor are responsible for. Invite people to look at your opportunity or your product, whichever category they fall into. Step two is the presentation. That's the information. In normal sales types of arenas, whether it's retail sales, internet sales, direct sales, the salesperson is the one that shares the information on the product or service. That's not what we do. We're the third distribution model, network marketing, designed to work for the masses based on a lot of people doing a little. And so step two, the presentation, is not what you do as a brand new distributor. Utilize a tool for the presentation. Okay, a tool like a video, maybe the Thursday night Biz Talks presentation. On Wednesday night, Pat Anderson every single Wednesday night does a product focused presentation called Health Talks with Pat. We have videos, we have recordings, we have paper copy, catalogs, what have you. Give some information, the presentation, but don't you do it. Provide a tool. Here's the reason. If you're not a great presenter, or you are a great presenter, you're not going to accomplish what we need to accomplish. What do we need to accomplish? Some of you are thinking we need to make a sale, or we need to sign up a distributor. No. The purpose of the first two steps is to get to the third step, which is called third-party validation. Here's the system using, the Fred terminology. Invitation, that's what you as a distributor do. Presentation, that's what the tools do. Validation, that's what an upline distributor does. Somebody that has more experience in a story. The whole purpose is to get your prospect speaking with somebody besides you. Now, when I said that the presentation is not what you do, because you'll either not be good enough to get their attention, or you'll be too good. If you're too good, they're not going to think they can do what you do. Okay, that's not duplicatable. Now, many of you have already been exposed to this three-step system for recruiting from your upline leader. They may have used the terms peak, pass, plug. Pique somebody's interest, plug them into a tool, pass them to an upline. It's the same system. I use different vernacular, different words, because the words make more sense to me. Okay, that's the only reason. The words make more sense to me. So there's a system for successful prospecting, and all I can tell you is that if you follow the system, if you do the system, you will get results. All right. Here's the most important thing to understand. Your new distributor or potential distributor, they don't know how to do Zija. They think how we do Zija is how you're doing Zija. And I'm going to suggest to you that the very best way to introduce them, to do Zija with them, is to do a system that the masses can duplicate. Because if your business is dependent upon skill sets that are only available to a small percentage of people, you will have a small business. You know, you're going to have to buy that story because that's just the way it is. I'll give you one more illustration, and then I'm going to move on to the next system. The day I started with Zija International, understand, I'd already retired, you know, a number of years earlier. You know, I was out of the industry for probably a decade when I joined Zija. I was already $1 million earner. I already knew how to do this. The day I started with Zija, I got off to a fast start, and I did really well in Zija, but it's because I knew what to do, and it had nothing to do with my previous experience. You know, in the previous company, I mean, you know, I was a platform speaker. I mean, the largest group I spoke with was an international event with that company. I think there was over 5,000 people there, and I was the keynote speaker. I knew the deal. I didn't do that. When I first started in Zija, I did exactly the things that I teach you on those little videos that I encourage you to watch. I put together my prospect list. I divided that list into two categories: potential customers and potential distributors. With the potential distributors, I followed the system. I made 12, I took the top 12 people. These were people I pre-screened to get involved in my business. I made my phone calls to them, and all I really did was, hey, I've got a new project. It's an incredible company. Looks like there's going to be a fortune to be made. I thought about you. Would you be open to looking at what I've got? Now, I typically would get something because they were pre-screened. They were the people I was looking for. I typically got responses like, well, yeah, I might be interested. What do you got? Okay, tell me more. I want to know more. And that's when the novice network marketer starts to jump in and start giving information. But remember, the second step, the presentation, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let the tools do that. And I used one of my favorite little phrases that just frames everything up. When I got some kind of positive response like, yeah, well, I'd like to know more about that, I immediately took control of the conversation and said something like, what I'm going to do is, back then, what I'm going to do is connect you with a 5-minute overview. Okay, instead of me doing the presentation, I plugged them into a tool. Now, back then, you got to understand, this was real early. Nobody was in Zija. Nobody heard, well, frankly, most people haven't heard about Zija today. But I mean, it was a little dinky, nothing company. And I conferenced them into a little 5-minute audio recording that we had. It was a little cheesy 5-minute presentation on the company story, product story, opportunity. And then I plugged them into my sponsor. I did the introduction protocol, handed them off to my sponsor, and I just shut up and listened. Okay, that's what I did. I did exactly what I teach. Out of the first 12 people that I contacted, 3 of them joined the business, and they joined with the same package I did. Out of the first 12 people that I contacted as, you know, potential customers, 6 of them bought the product. And in the space of 2 weeks, I was in profit. I'd paid off all the money that was necessary to purchase that initial package. Now, that's a fast start, folks. Why was I so successful in the beginning? There's always people going to try and figure out why I was so successful and they can't be. Okay, I go, well, that's because you had a whole bunch of network marketing people. No, not one single person on that list had I ever been involved in network marketing with, nor were they successful in network marketing. Okay, these were contacts that met the criteria that we're looking for. Who are we looking for? We're looking for people we want to work with. That's the first thing. We want to work with people like us. Okay, we want to have those kinds of people around us. I looked for people that were like me. Okay, people that I wanted to work with. I looked for people that had large contact base, people that knew a lot of people, people that had a lot of credibility within their marketplace. I looked for people that were already successful at some level in, in their given profession or trade. The lead shift manager at McDonald's qualifies. Why? Because they've demonstrated their ability to move up from line staff and cook and what have you to be the manager. May not be the most successful person in the world's eyes, but they demonstrated they have the characteristics that create success. I pre-screened the list and I followed the system. System for prospecting and recruiting: invitation, presentation, validation. Let's talk about another system. Let's talk about getting a new distributor started. Okay. Once we go through the efforts to get a new distributor, there's a system to get them up and running. Sometimes it's called onboarding. And again, I want you to work directly with your upline leadership, because they may have special nuances that they want you to be focused on. Here's what I do. And again, everything I do is pretty generic. Okay. Onboarding. Step one, get in. Okay. I don't do a lot of training and support and mentoring until they're in. Why would you work with a new distributor that has not yet decided to come in? I mean, think about it for a minute. Why would you do that? That's like, before you decide to, become one of my customers at the auto body store, let me fix that fender for free. That doesn't make any sense. No, make a commitment to be a customer, or, to be a distributor before you start working with. So first step is get in. Now, once they get in, then the second step is to get trained. Now, I'm not talking about they need to learn everything there is to learn about this business. It took me a couple of years in my first multi-level company to actually get to a point in time where I was making some decent money. But let me tell you what happened the third year, went into six figures. This is back in the mid 80s when, $100,000 a year was a lot of money. Some of you think $100,000 a year is a lot of money right now, but back then it was a lot of money. Now, it takes time. When I say step two, get trained, I'm mostly interested in them just understanding what we're going to do together. Because in the beginning, the brand new distributor, frankly, their job is just to introduce us to people. Okay? They learn how we do what we do by us doing it with them. So step one, get in. Step two, get trained. Step three, get going. I always like to have a little get going meeting very early on with a brand new distributor. And usually this all takes place in that first, 3 to 5 days until their initial order comes to them. Do a little goal planning, set some parameters on what they're looking for, set up a daily method of operation with them. Make sure they understand the simple system: invitation, presentation, validation, or, peak, pass, plug, if that's the terms you want to use. And that get going meeting helps us solidify our relationship, and then we go to work. Now, what are we going to do? Folks, if you can master this one thing here, it will make you a fortune. Whatever it is your new distributor wants, $200 or $300 a week, $1,000 a month, $1,000 a week, a full-time income, $1,000 a day, a life-changing income. Doesn't make any difference what the long-term goals are. Make sure that they have clearly planted in their mind why they need to be successful. Okay? Because it is too easy to quit if you don't have a long-term vision. Why was I successful in network marketing? Because 34 years ago, my goal was to be able to provide for my son's future. There was nothing that was ever going to cause me to say, well, maybe I wasn't serious. Maybe I don't need that. That was the most important thing to me in my life. And that's why I didn't quit. And if you understand that so long as you're doing the correct activities, it is inevitable you will find the people you're looking for. It took a while. Okay, so make sure, part of that get going meeting, why do you need to be successful? Keep that firmly planted in your mind, because contrary to popular belief, not every day in Zege is a great day. Hey, we have tough days. I have days when distributors quit. I have days when people that I thought were going to sign up didn't sign up. I have days when people signed up and quit before their order shows up. I've had all of that, right? And you'll earn my paycheck when you've gone through as many of those circumstances as I have. I get people to commit to the long term, understand why. I go through those types of things first. Now, whatever the goals are, master this part. Get two. That's it. Step number one is to get two people to work with your new person. Could be two customers. Okay, that's fine. But ideal, I'm looking for two distributors. Because if you can help your new person get just two, then the magic of network marketing, or the term I prefer is multi-level marketing. The magic of multi-level marketing is we can help those two people get two as well. And now you've got four people on that person's second level. And then we can do it again. Just help those four people get their first two. And then help those 8 people get their first two. That's very simple. It certainly becomes more work as you're trying to help 4 people get two distributors, or 8 people or 16. But if you do the math, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 30 people. 30 people for your brand new person. 30 people that are ordering the product. And if you simply rely on the 80-20 rule of, which is just human nature, of those 30 people, 6 of them, 80-20 rule, 6 of them are going to want to do the business for real. And of those 6 people, 20, the 80-20 rule, there's an 80-20 rule in that top 20%. One of them will get serious about it. Okay, so all you got to do is learn the first step. Help them get 2. Then help those people get 2. Then help those people. That's all I've done. That's it. It's not magic. It is work. It does take time. Those first 2 people that you're really looking for, sometimes they show up right away. Sometimes they don't show up right away. It takes longer. But here's what I can guarantee you. If you keep working in depth, you will eventually find the person you're looking for. Last system. Let's talk about your personal system. Okay, so we've talked about system for recruiting. We've talked about system for onboarding. We've talked about, now we want to talk about your personal system. Your personal system, folks, get yourself plugged in. Okay, that's part of the system. Get yourself into a weekly routine of being part of ZJA. That could be, Monday night MIT calls on Facebook Live with David Moses. Wednesday evening product presentations with Pat Anderson. Thursday evening business presentations with Fred Holmes. Saturday morning new distributor training. I know a lot of you, and actually I can tell because it's usually a factor of 4, 5, 6 or more people watching the recordings of these presentations. But I encourage you, whenever it's possible, attend the live presentations, because it creates a system. It's something you have to do, just like your job. You have to show up for work on Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Make that part of what you do. Okay, if you can't make Thursday night's Biz Talks presentation, well, certainly watch the recording the next day. But set a time where you always watch the recording the next day, or whenever that happens to be. It's part of your personal system. Get plugged into what's happening. Set up your own DMO, daily method of operation, your system on the activities you do on a daily basis. Get plugged into your own personal and skill set development. Okay, that's part of your personal system. All of those things are going to be essential to your long-term success. And so 3 systems, if you will: the recruiting system, invitation, presentation, validation. Here's another system: onboarding a new distributor. Get them in, get them trained, get them going. Your personal system being plugged into presentations and events, plugged into your own daily method of operation, plugged into your own personal development routine. These are the kinds of things that were shared with me 30 plus years ago, and I did extremely well in that first 10 years. It was 2 companies, 2 years for the first one, 8 years for the second one, and I was able to retire. With ZJA, even though this has been a part-time venture for the entire time, Zija has eclipsed the level of income that I earned in my previous tenure in network marketing. That's what's available to you, and everything I've shared with you can be mastered by the average person. So with that, and I apologize, I'm running out of time here. I will go ahead, heads up to our affiliate stations. I may go a little bit over if we have some good questions. I'm going to open up the chat box, folks, right now. If you have a question, even if you've already asked it, so I don't have to go through everything, type it into the chat box. If I can help, I'd be happy to do so. Candace Smiley just said, I love the system. Candace Smiley is a clear-cut example of somebody who has mastered this. By the way, if you haven't already done so, you need to go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. The most recent video there at this moment is the recording from last Thursday night, 2 nights ago's Biz Talks with Candace Smiley and Mike Crane. That was one of the most powerful, informative presentations that I think we've had. Okay, Candace does an excellent job of framing up, the company story, the product story, the opportunity. Mike Crane shared some absolute gems. I've taken notes on that presentation. Okay, you really, really need to get back and take a look at that. I'm going to see if I got any questions. Peek Pass Plug. But go ahead, please. If you have a question that you would like me to be able to do something, attempt to answer right now, I'd be more than happy to do that. Okay, I see some questions here from Lorene. Retail sales pyramid. Is it a real product? What is a funnel business? Many people doing a little. What is a funnel business? That is Lorene, and I'm honestly, I'm not an expert on anything, okay, including network marketing. There are a lot of very knowledgeable people that are involved in our profession, and certainly within Zija International, okay. I am the only thing that I can honestly tell you that I excel at, okay, is consistency of effort engaged in correct activities over a prolonged period of time. The only thing that's special about me is I've always been a hard worker. I was very coachable when I first got in this industry, and I had a burning desire to succeed. I was willing to do the things that worked, and I was willing to do them over and over and over until I got the results I was looking for. Funnel systems, I got to tell you, I've never done that. I've never been involved in creating, the mass mailing lists and the multiple splash pages that direct people to click here, and how to generate 147 leads in 36 seconds in your sleep. There's a lot of people make money selling that program. I'm not so sure I know anybody who's made any money using that program. That may not have been the answer you were looking for. That's the best I got for you. Let's see here. Invitation. Folks, I'm just scrolling through the chat box, trying to pull out stuff as quickly as I can. Yeah, your personal system, being part of the calls, the trainings, the products. For those of you that are looking at the chat, Lorene Best really does a great job of captioning the things that I'm sharing. I mean, I should be paying her to do this, right? I'm not going to pay you, Lorene. Okay, I don't make any money doing this, so I ain't paying you. But you really, I should pay her. Joe says, how do you qualify your list? Just the things that I was talking about. If it's okay, first of all, how do you qualify a customer list? Would they benefit from our products? Who would benefit from our products? Well, quite frankly, everybody. Okay, healthy people, unhealthy people, young people, old people, tall people, short people, ugly people, good-looking people. Okay, if you breathe, then you would benefit from our products. So yes, the answer is, how do you qualify potential customers? Everybody's a potential customer. Okay, everybody qualifies as a potential customer. Potential distributors, how do I qualify them? The things I just talked about. Okay, I look for, first of all, people I'd like to work with. That's a good starting point. Okay, why would you recruit somebody that's going to work shoulder to shoulder with you in this enterprise so that you can build your personal dreams together with somebody you don't really want to be around? Okay, I mean, that's silly. You know, I'm going to be real candid with you. There's a few people I know from the network marketing industry I have chosen not to reach out to because I don't want them in my business, you know. And there's be people say, well, that's stupid, because yeah, they probably would make me a fortune if I could recruit a couple of those people. I don't want them in my business. Yeah, I just don't. I don't want to be associated with them. I don't want that level or lack of attainment in character and integrity to be part of what I do. Okay, so guess what? You know, and actually it's okay because I do pretty good, right? I really don't need somebody else. You know, would I like to make more money? Absolutely. Am I building? Am I going back into team development or personal frontline recruiting? Absolutely, I am. With the new CBD patches, this is a gold rush. Okay, this is a gold rush right now. But there's just some people that, frankly, I'm not going to go after. You know, people that you'd like to work with. Look for people that have large contact bases. It's always best to find somebody that has a large contact base. Now, the answer to the person says, but I don't have a large contact base. That's okay. It ain't about you. All we got to do is find 2 people who do. Okay? Everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody knows at least 2 people that can do this. And I'm gonna tell you, if all you ever did was sponsor 2 people who took this serious, you'd be a white gold distributor and you're approaching a 6-figure income if you max out that distributorship. All you gotta do is find 2. Okay, find 3, I'll kick you up into 6 figures. Okay, now look for people that have good credibility within their contact base. Look for people that have already demonstrated a certain level of success within their particular, you know, occupation, trade, skill, what have you. Look for people that are looking for us. Look for the people that want more. You know, somebody who says, give you an example. One day I was driving down the road. This predates the BMWs, because I can't hang a magnetic mount on my BMWs because they got carbon fiber. It doesn't stick to it. But back in the day, when long after truck driving, I still ran a CB radio in my cars, and I was listening to one driver going down the road, and he said, "Han, they don't pay me enough to think." That was a clue on why he was driving an 18-wheeler and I was driving a Cadillac at the time. He did not have the ambition to work any harder than the minimal amount of pay, his perception, the minimal amount of pay. He based his work effort upon the level of income that he earned. As long as I can remember as a child, I remember my grandfather instilling in me, the work that you do has nothing to do with the pay that you receive. Okay, I was always the best busboy, always the best janitor, you know, because the work effort I put in was a reflection on me, not a reflection of the level of income that I had. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. All great info to share. Well, thank you, Diana. I appreciate that. One other qualifier. Okay, and this should go without saying. One of the qualifiers for my to be on my list of potential distributors, people had to be able to have the ability to join the business. Now, I mean they were rich. They had to have a credit card. Think about this for a minute. Do you really want to do business with somebody who, at this stage in their life, doesn't have a credit card, and you know, or the capacity to come up with a few $100s to start a business? I'm not talking about the $1,300 package, but getting enough product for themselves and to be able to sample out. Okay, and if that's the person you're going after, who are their contact base. Very few people that are living at a subsistence level of living have large contact base, good credibility within those contact base, associated with a multitude of entrepreneurial people. Just common sense, folks. Look for the people that you want to build your business with, okay? Look for the people that want Zija, not necessarily the ones that need Zija. Learn, coachable, teachable, pure status quo. That's exactly right. Very good. All right. Well, listen, we're a couple of minutes past our allotted time. I think that I've covered any of the questions that were there. Folks, I hope that you found this helpful. I will be posting this to my YouTube channel for future viewing and that sort of thing. Again, if you're brand new to Zija, be part of what we do every Saturday morning. If you loved what you heard today from me, there's lots more coming. If you didn't like what you heard from me today, there's better trainers that take over on Saturdays for me. So, make this part of your regular routine, and please, please take advantage of those 4 little training videos that I mentioned earlier. They will really serve you well. It's the kinds of things that I was able to, that helped me, okay? And that's all I share, is the things that I've learned, that I've taught, and that I've done. So with that, looking forward to seeing all of you that are going to be at the Dallas Regional next weekend. I believe Candace Smiley is going to be hosting new distributor training next Saturday. For those of you that are going to the Cincinnati regional event the following weekend, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there. I believe Amy McKenzie is going to cover that particular one. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm throwing one of these puppies on me, so I'll have a product testimonial here for you shortly. Hope you had as much fun as I did today. Have a great rest of your weekend. Don't forget this week, David Moses, Monday night, 9:30 Eastern, Facebook Live. That's David Moses OTW, at David Moses OTW. Wednesday evening, Pat Anderson, Health Talks with Pat. You can access that presentation. That'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Wednesday night. Access that presentation at Pat's website, clubmoringa.com, www.clubmoringa.com. And when you get there, look at what she's got. She's got a tremendous amount of resources for all of Zija, okay? It's all designed for, generic team-wide Zija. Wednesday evening, we'll be back with Biz Talks, and actually, I think this Thursday night, it's the same Zoom meeting link that you joined today. I believe Monica Cooper is going to be my guest. I have to double check that. You will need to hear her story. Zija opportunity and products have been life changers for her and her family. And then one more time, Saturday morning, new distributor training next Saturday, same time. Okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all at one of the regionals, I hope. Take care.